If you've been consistent for a long time and suddenly one random day you stop doing all those good habits and now you're not disciplined and you don't find the motivation to do those good habits anymore, you are in a rut. And to deal with this, I have three words for you. One is frequency, one is depth, and the other is recovery. If you understand and if you master these three things, then I assure you that you'll get back on track and you'll be back doing those good habits. You'll be back in the gym, you'll be back on the runs, and you'll be meditating every day really, really soon. The first thing you need to understand is the frequency. The frequency is how often you get these ruts. How often do you have those bad days? How often in a month? How often do you have those bad days when you don't do the habits? See, the thing about ruts is that you can't really eliminate them completely. You're gonna have a certain number of bad days, a certain number of bad weeks over the whole year, and that is unavoidable, but your goal should be to minimize how often you get them. And I have two methods for you to deal with that. And the first method is to reframe your micro failures. If you miss a workout, if you don't go for a run, the idea is that you don't go into the mode of, oh shit, I fucked up. Instead, if you think, okay, how do I get back on track? How do I do the things that will help me get back on the default day that I'm supposed to have? So the idea is to focus on the 20% of the actions that give you the 80% of the results for the day. If you focus on the most productive tasks of the day, you will be able to bounce back on, and the next day you can start again and have the default structure of your day up again. It's not that difficult. And the second tip is to avoid redlining. What I mean by that is that if you're constantly pushing yourself to the extremes, if you're just pushing it all the time, every time you hit what is called a burnout, and during the periods of burnout you won't find the motivation and you will be in the same state as what we call a rut. Be mindful of how hard you push yourself. Sometimes you just want to grind away, but be mindful of how much you might struggle in the future. The next important thing is depth of that rut. How deep you go into that rut, how much of your principles will you let go, how much of your identity will you let to rot away, is what depth is all about. The goal here is to reduce the depth. The goal here is to stay at a decent level. The goal is to not feel bad about yourself. The goal is to, when you once miss a workout, don't become that bad person. Don't become the person who just let that domino fall off into bad habits, really bad habits that you don't want to do at all. When you get to them, you think that you're a terrible person, and all those things will come in and that will deepen you into that rut, which was just a missed workout. You gotta take care of yourself, go take a shower. Constantly try not to indulge in those bad habits that you have the urge to. And when you get those urges, when you get those thoughts in your head, those intrusive thought patterns, observe and tell yourself, okay, this is what my stupid brain is trying to make me do, but I don't really have to follow what the brain says because I have control over my actions, even though I don't have full control over my thoughts. The reason why depth is important is because how deep you go, if you lose character, if you lose all of your principles and do the worst things you can possibly do, whatever you do will be ingrained in your memory and you will remember it, and you will tell yourself that I am that person. I can go this low on a rut. On a bad day, I'm just terrible. You don't want to have those thoughts in your head. The next important thing is recovery. How quickly do you bounce back? How long do you stay in that rut? If you're already in a bad place, why would you try to stay there longer? You try to bounce back up right away, right? The thing I want you to understand is that the more you stay in the rut, the more damage you do, and over time it will hurt you mentally, and the damage will stay for a really, really long time. You lose a lot of the habits that you built up. You lose some good things, you lose some of the progress that you've made over this time, and you don't want that to happen to you. One of my favorite tactics to get out of a rut instantly, to reduce the recovery time, is to do something I call the reset ritual. I've made a video about it before. What you do is you signal to your brain that you're starting a new thing. So that's why I don't have long hair anymore, because I trimmed my hair to tell my brain that look at me, this is a new disciplined version of me. I'm doing things differently now. So go take a shower, clean up your beard and all those things, and you can even change the habits away. Because let's say your rut started with you missing a couple of workouts, and if you force yourself to go to the gym, it might not really work. But if you can get yourself to go for a run, then it's something new, a novel experience for your brain, which could signal you out of the rut that you are in. And the other tip is to use comfort strategically in a way that helps you recover, but you are not indulging, you're not decaying in that rut, you're not becoming the rut. So you're helping by giving yourself the time to recharge. You're doing some of the, small bad habits in a way that it is helping you heal. Your mindset during the rut will influence everything. Because think about it. All of this, the rut and the setbacks, all of that are in your head. No one's confining you to stop yourself from doing all those things, but you yourself get to decide what to do. So your mindset, if you want to deal with this strategically, like with the blueprint that I've mentioned right now, if you want more help, I could give you hands-on and coaching and everything. You can DM me on Instagram, first link in the description, and there will be another link which will be in my Discord server, where you can ask questions and I'll reply to you. So master these three things: frequency, depth, and recovery, and you can get right back on track and make all that sweet progress that have been waiting on the sidelines. You can click here for another video that will help you question the patterns of the mind, and click the links in the description, join the Discord server, DM me on Instagram, and there are a lot more videos on the channel that will help you a lot. And that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching.